Hey girls, it's actually pretty late. It's about 11 o'clock. The house is really quiet, and I thought I'm just going to come out here really quick and tell you a fabulous five and let you see how I'm going to work my month for December. Putting some pens and paper to this Puerto Rico trip, I want to kind of share with you some ideas that I'm doing to make this my best month ever, and I thought you guys would be inspired by this as well. So let me share with you my fabulous five. First of all, the fabulous five is decide it, dig in it, track it, work it, trust it. And so let me go through that with you and let me tell you what I mean by that. The first thing you got to do this month is decide that this is going to be your best month ever. And 80% of what happens in your month is first going to happen in your head. So it's very important that you make the decision to make this a really wonderful month, but also decide that it's going to actually be a month of focus for you, where you're really going to focus on the trip and focus on making this your best month ever. If you are going to focus and decide to go on the Puerto Rico trip, you have to register for $30 online for you to be able to collect the double points. So that's really, really important, and you do not want to miss out on that, because that's going to be a terrible thing if you did, because you wouldn't get your double points. So make sure you register for the trip right away. And then, of course, once you decide it, you've got to manage your decision every single day. So here's some ideas of what I'm going to do. Number 2 is dig in it. After I've decided it, I'm going to dig into it. And digging into it means I'm going to set my plans, I'm going to set my goals, and I'm going to map out the trip. And if you need help mapping out your trip, get with your RVP. But when you're digging into it, this is where you really put a pencil to it and you break it down as far as what you're going to do. And I'm gonna go for the trip. I've decided I'm gonna go for the trip. And the thing that I'm gonna do for my breakdown of my plan is number 1, I'm gonna do 10 activities. 10 activities, and those include things like trunk show. I just made this up the other day because I was had my holiday products and some other products in the back of my car, and I showed them to my sister-in-law, and she purchased. So that was a trunk show right there. So that was pretty cool. And then I'm going to do things like one-on-ones. I'm going to ask my friends to actually host a come and go open house. I'm going to do one of those on Saturday so that I'm getting into her friends, which is really way cool. I'm also going to be doing lots of one-on-ones, and I'm not going to call things a party this month because of the month of it being the holidays and so forth. I don't want people to think that you know, it's a lot of work. So I'm just not even going to call it a party. I'm just calling it, hey, let me come over and let you stop and shop. I'm going to do things that kind of just create a real spontaneous type of a atmosphere for people. So the other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to really, really do a lot of 100 for hundreds this special. You know, I want people to get a good deal and buy from me. So I'm going to really run that special a lot because I'm focused on boosting my volume. I think that's real important as you're going for this. Now, if I'm going to do 10 activities, as you know, you've got to ask a lot more people than normal. So I've already started the ask, and I've already got my calendar full, and I'm really excited about what I've got scheduled. And I hope that you guys can get excited too by just really, if you haven't done it yet, by getting your calendar full, then just do a power hour where you just sit down and you just book. You just get things scheduled. But the next thing I'm going to do as part of my breakdown plan is I'm going to book at least 10 to 20 catalog shows. And 10 to 20 catalog shows, I'm going to run the 100 for 100 special again with those. And I'm going to go to some of my old fallen out business builders that love Arbonne, but for whatever reason, they're not real engaged. I'm going to ask them if they would like to do the catalog show, and I'm going to reward them very generously if they can get 12 people to do 100 for 100. If they get 12 people to do 100 for 100, that's a $2,000 holiday show for me. And what's really great about it if you double those points for the Puerto Rico trip, that's 4,000 points. So And it's a really easy breakdown. 12 people to do 100 for 100. So I'm going to have 10 to 20 of those out this month with different people. And I think that's going to be very, very lucrative in the way of revenue for sure. The other thing I was going to do is really run an email blast out to my clients and do the 100 for 100s on that. And then the main thing is I'm focused on duplication this month. I'm going to bring in people into this business this month. And I think that it's important that we all work the $1 million question and talk about, you know, would you like to hear a little bit more about Arbonne's income? Because a lot of times this is the time of year that a lot of people are looking for something different to do. I started in January, Carlita started in January, Beth Gallardi started in January. A lot of people really are ready for a change. So I'm going to be doing that too, is asking that $1 million question everywhere I go. I went and got a manicure the other day. I asked the $1 million question. So kind of do that too and really focus on the duplication, because when you focus on the duplication, the best part about that is that when you promote out those district managers, you get to count their volume towards your trip points, which is so cool because you get to carry their central district volume for the whole 6 months of qualification for Puerto Rico. So that's really amazing bonus for you to get in that feature of the Puerto Rico trip. So that is going to be huge. You know, with this trip and the qualification rules, you cannot divide the volume by 6 months because of the exponential growth and volume that you can get as bonus from recruiting people into the business. So really have a focus on duplication for sure. The third thing is working it. Nothing happens without true hardcore focus. I'm going to do my 15 minutes of focus every single night to try to focus on what I'm going to be doing the next day. I'm going to track it with my plan and my goals and my breakdown. I'm going to track that. I'm going to have this on paper every night so that I know what to do the next morning when I wake up. And the fourth thing is the tracking piece. Track it. Track yourself through this month and every month if you're going to go for the trip. There is actually a tracker form that's out there. But on the 15th and the 25th, I'm going to adjust and I'm going to evaluate my numbers. And I'm going to see where I'm at and where I need to go. And that's part of the evaluation and tracking it. So make sure you're tracking it. Track your GTC as well. You may win the registration fee this month. And track your trip. And if you need help, just ask me or ask your RVP. We'll be glad to help you. And then the last thing, of course, is the trust it. You know, you have to trust the process in Arbonne. We know what will bring you ridiculous success in this business. Ridiculous success. We know what it takes to win the trips. I've actually been on 9 of those. And my record, that alone, my record shows you that these trips are very, very obtainable. You just have to be focused on winning them and using the system that I just kind of, the Fabulous 5, to be able to be on track for that. In the process of you doing this for the trip and focusing on the Fab 5, you're going to be building an amazing business. So I love you guys, and I hope that this was helpful for me to bring to your attention that you need to decide it, you need to dig into it, you need to work it, you need to track it, you need to trust it. Love you.